He got this chickenpox vaccine. I'm sorry, the smallpox vaccine. Didn't show any symptoms. Shed it to his son. His son got symptoms of smallpox.
No,
and had to be hospitalized. And when the authorities came, they found evidence of smallpox virus all over his place.
Well, you just say his son had smallpox?
Why isn't that? Why is huh?
You just said his son had smallpox. Why wouldn't they find smallpox all over the place?
Because he shed it all over his apartment, and then his son got it from his shedding all over the place. How did
they know the difference between the smallpox his son had and the shedded smallpox that the other guy had?
Because when they cultivate the viruses in the lab, they use a certain strain, and they know that strain. They match the strain.
And also, as I said, your example is going to be a news article that was written before 1972. Because that's when the last recorded case of smallpox is, if I'm not mistaken.
This was actually after 1972.
When was the last? I might be wrong about the date. Hold on.
Well, while you're looking up the date, I just want to tell Verstein that the standard for being skeptical of articles isn't anything personal against you or anything against the topic. It's against the fact that anybody can say anything in an article.
That's true. Well,
the last recorded case of smallpox is in 1977. I'm sorry.
Okay, so, but I mean, I just think that there's a huge double standard when Halsey sends me an article talking about all of these ProVax points, but yet I can't send him an article.
I didn't send you any articles.
You send me you send me the anti-vax, you know, what was it? The truth, the anti-vax, the truth.
And what did I say to you? It doesn't prove anything. It just lays out what some of the issues are.
That was before the debate.
And that was before the debate. I didn't use that to back up anything. In fact, I barely even read it.
Why are you sending me stuff that you barely even read?
I just sent that to you and said this is laying out some of the issues that we can talk about. I didn't say it proves.
So again, why is that? Okay, so I send you some studies in those articles as well too. Why
the articles that you sent me? I'm looking at them right now. Hold on.
Well, look at my notes. Look at my notes. I sent him this. I sent him all these. Look at all these. Look at all these. Look. I stopped numbering after 14, but all these were there's a link. I sent him a plethora of talking about shedding, right? Manchester poliovirus. Oh, not good enough. Not good enough because it's a BBC article, okay? Polio outbreak sparked by vaccine. Okay, that's not good enough either. That's an article. Reuters. This is the one that we went over and we kept going back and forth. Rototech virus shedding, whooping cough, a cellular pertussis. I'm going to put some of these up on the screen so you can actually see the article, and then I'll put the rest of these in the links, okay? Outbreak of measles among persons with prior evidence of immunity, okay? Zhejiang province, China has a 99.9% measles compliance rate, yet has had over 700 measles outbreaks from about 209, I think, to 215 so far. I don't know after that, but, you know, outbreak. All these are in vaccinated populations, and then some of them specifically talk about shedding, measles shedding, vector and viral shedding. Shedding, reactivation, shedding. I think I have even a couple of pictures of inserts I'm gonna put up there. Rototech viruses, viral shedding and risks of transmission. All of these, yeah, but he chooses this one. Okay. Yeah, just showing you. All right, just showing you.
While you're doing that, let me ask.
BBC, NBC News, Routers, Green Med Info, PNAS.org, which is talking about hold on, monkey study. Then you
okay, so no monkey studies now. All right, how about you just knock down every single piece of evidence that I show you because you'd rather die of rectal cancer than admit that you're wrong and then you don't know anything.
Have another one that's talking about monkeys, and then you have CIDC, outbreak of measles among persons with prior evidence of immunity, which has nothing to do with shedding. All it says is that people with prior evidence of immunity got the disease.
Again, genius, that means they were vaccinated and still got the disease they were vaccinated for. I mean, I know the science stuff is hard for you since you just like to railroad people with facts that you make up that don't exist.
Nevada measles outbreak in vaccinated population, which is USA Today. And then this is the only one from the CDC, the NIH. Who
do any of those articles link out to studies?
I'm looking at them. Hold on. I'm trying to find.
All right, but well, I mean, I'm just saying because I mean,
so studies is like the only.
Well, don't go down that path because you were just saying that you demanded a study, to prove the vaccines were effective.
Yeah,
and now
I am
you're saying
go
that
down
studies
that
are the only way to prove them.
No, I'm asking you, is that studies, is that what you required in order to say that there's proof of vaccine shedding? When I just told you the vaccine hospital inserts or the inpatient papers say that, you shouldn't come to the hospital if you've been fully vaccinated.
I don't think
So
Halsey's, I don't think Halsey's arguing that they don't shed. I think he's saying that there are no provable cases except the article that you cite that shedding actually gives somebody the disease.
We'll have articles. I also, like I said, the hospital inpatient papers say that you should not come if you've had a live vaccine because you can shed. Have you ever
been watching TV? Have you ever been watching TV and that anti-depression medicine comes up and it says this might induce vomiting, a sore throat, watery eyes, sleepless nights, joint aches, muscle pain, and possibly even death? Halsey explained why they do that. That is the equivalent of an insert for drugs that they're trying
to. Because they do, and you know what?
That doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yes, it does, or it could happen. But look,
anything could happen. The sun could supernova.
Yeah, but you know what? There have at least been 3 pharmaceutical whistleblowers that have come out and said that the pharmaceutical company actually know that is going to happen and actually put a certain amount of money aside because they know that they're going to be lawsuits. Have you seen the commercial?
Said they can't be sued.
They can be sued for drugs. They can't be sued for vaccines. Understand?
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying that they set money aside for when they can be sued, when they're going to be sued about
for the drugs. We're on the drugs, right? We're talking about the drugs, right? We're talking. He brought up the drug commercials.
Okay.
I'm saying they're doing this. They get sued because of the adverse events or reactions that are listed in the commercials. The drug companies are able to sue them. They're able to sue the pharmaceutical industries directly for the adverse events or reactions that the drugs have caused.
Well,
do that for vaccines.
Keeping it on this same topic, are you against those drugs too, since they sometimes have harmful side effects?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, can I ask a question? And I mean no offense by it, just as people who know me from this channel know that I'm not religious. Is it a religious stance you're taking that those
No, I just think that
Did I quote any Bible verses in this debate? This is so insulting. I've been presenting them with stuff and they're just it's just going over their heads. What?
No, you're going to say this is all woo-woo, but just with my own health struggles, I've just discovered different ways. I know you're going to be like, oh, it's woo-woo, but I haven't, when I've changed my diet and I eat healthy and I exercise and stuff, I don't get sick. And I used to have really bad autoimmune disorders when I was a kid. I have asthma.
Yeah. That kind of stuff builds up your immune system, but you're not going to go and rub smallpox pus on your skin and survive that if you're not vaccinated against it.
Well, I wouldn't get a vaccine for smallpox, first of all.
But you also wouldn't try to rub it on your skin.
I wouldn't rub it on my skin. Who does
no matter
that?
how healthy we are.
Women.
Thank you, Dustin. It's you're the only one that has common sense in this whole debate.
Women are rubbing circumcised penises on their skin.
But there are also people in these outbreaks that they talk about that did not get sick. So what were these people doing that caused them to get well? You heard about
they might have a natural immunity that is used a lot in the production of vaccinations too. People who have natural immunities to diseases.
What?
Some people have natural immunities.
People get natural immunity from diseases by being exposed to the disease. That's called natural immunity. And in fact, the whole premise of herd immunity was based on natural immunity, not vaccine-induced immunity. And by the scientific standards that they use to measure titers, they discovered that the titers wane.
But I don't mean any offense, but
this is why we get booster shots.
But most of the science I've heard you talk about tonight happened when the Model T Ford was out.
And vaccines were invented in the 1700s, which is almost 2 centuries before the Model T Ford came out. So your point is?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh, I've heard you cite a bunch of old stuff, 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
Like when the polio vaccine came out, like in the 50s.
And it hasn't been refuted since then. And this is the basis of scientific literature, is that you learn from the past and you keep building upon it.
Exactly,
So,
which means the science is
that was mainly from polio.
better today.
But that was when we were talking about polio, and we were talking about polio of that era. I was talking about polio in that era. So yeah, so all this other stuff is science of today. I think you're just saying stuff because all you have is sound bites, and you can't really you can't really back up anything with, you know, anything that you know off the top of your head. So then you're just like, oh, it's old science. It's newspaper articles. It's feelings.
Let me ask you a question that came from someone in the audience. They sent over, and look, none of you. Well, I don't think anyone here out of all four of us agree that we can trust our government blindly.
Well, wait a minute. No, now I have to challenge you back. You sent me an article, and you entitled it, "Father Spreads Smallpox to His Son After Getting the Smallpox Vaccine." And then I read the article, and it says his father got the smallpox vaccine as part of the military, and he had an adverse skin reaction from it. And the virus that the kid got that was all over his house was a type of eczema. It wasn't smallpox. It had nothing to do with smallpox.
What Halsey did, this was actually the most painful part of the debate for me, because I did make a mistake in the fact that I kept saying smallpox, and technically the smallpox vaccine is made with cowpox, so it's not technically smallpox, but it's called Vaccinia. That's the virus that they use to make the smallpox vaccines. But the Reuters article does say toddler survives smallpox vaccine reaction. Okay, so I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read the article, and then you can kind of see us go around in circles, and it's not that long. But yeah, and then I'll leave in the links for you guys to read it yourself. So. It says, a 2-year-old boy who developed a serious reaction to his father's smallpox vaccination has recovered, but disease detectives found infectious virus all over his house, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported on Thursday. Okay, why do they have this covered? Are you flipping kidding me? Okay, let's see if I can bring the picture up. It's terrible. Okay, look. It looks like smallpox, right? I don't know. They covered the picture now. This is just so weird. They're just censoring information left and right. This is crazy. Okay, so this wasn't covered a few months ago. I swear. I swear. Okay. A 2-year-old boy who developed a serious reaction to his father's smallpox vaccination. This is has recovered, but the disease detectives found infectious virus all over the house. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported on Thursday. A photo of the boy's stomach is seen in a handout from the University of Chicago's Colmer Children's Hospital. Okay, so that's the caption. This is a picture of the boy's stomach, okay? The Indiana toddler developed a rare rash known as eczema vaccinatum after playing with his father. A soldier vaccinated for deployment in Iraq, reported Dr. Marnick of the University of Chicago and CDC experts. Experimental treatments helped the child, but the CDC said the incident showed that care must be taken by people who received the smallpox vaccine. All right? Because it sheds, okay? So my argument in this section of the debate is the boy wouldn't have gotten infected if the father hadn't gotten the vaccine. So the father got the smallpox vaccine, which is made from vaccinum, right? Vaccinatum, but it's called smallpox, but it's made from this, and he gave it to his boy, okay? But they're not technically calling it smallpox, because to me they're just playing semantics, just like Halsey's doing. But they're not calling it smallpox. They're calling it. It was the first case of eczema vaccinatum reported in the United States since 1988, the CDC said. The child was hospitalized for 48 days, but should suffer no long-term consequences other than possible scarring, said the report published in the CDC's weekly report on death and disease. Pox viruses can survive on inanimate objects, so experts tested the family's homes. Okay, so it's saying pox viruses can survive on inanimate objects. So obviously the father had it and it got all over the house. because he was shedding. How else would it get on all over the house if he hadn't got the vaccine and brought it home? All right. Multiple swab samples obtained from the home, e.g. from a bathroom washcloth, a slipper, a toy drum, a nightstand, a booster seat, and an ointment container, and from items brought to the child's hospital room, e.g. an infant drinking cup and a car seat, were positive for the Vaccinia virus DNA, the researchers wrote. Yes, because he was shedding the vaccine. The father was, okay? They steam cleaned the home and washed clothing linens after acid pre-treatment. The World Health Organization declared smallpox eradicated in 1979. The U.S. government reinstated smallpox vaccination for military personnel and selected healthcare workers because of fears the virus could be used in biological attacks. The U.S. Department of Defense had vaccinated approximately 1.2 million persons as of March 2007, report reads. The smallpox vaccine uses a related and usually harmless virus called Vaccinia. It is scratched into the skin and forms a pustule that scabs and falls off. Gross. Okay, so people with eczema and immune conditions can develop a serious reaction if they are vaccinated or come into contact with blisters of a vaccinated person. The soldier received the vaccine even though he had a history of skin allergies. It doesn't matter if he had a history of skin allergies or not, he still shed. So, he's acting like vaccines can't shed. He's like, I give him an example and he plays semantics. But let's finish. His appointment was delayed, so he made an unplanned visit home to his family in Indiana, the report reads. His routine activities with his son included hugging, wrestling, sleeping, and bathing. The child developed a rash and later severe illness. After a week of experimental treatments, he began to get better. So the father had skin allergies, the boys didn't. He still gave it to the boy because he got the vaccine that shed all over his apartment, and then he shed it onto his son, okay? The treatments included an antiviral drug made by Sega Technologies, a Vaccinia immune globulin, an antiviral drug, Cetaphore, made by Zealot Sciences Incorporated. The child's mother also had a rash, which went away after she got immune globulin treatment made from the blood of vaccinated people. Okay, so the mom she got it too a little bit, not as bad, okay? On Thursday, a panel of FDA advisors recommended approval of a new smallpox vaccine made it by Amos that is designed to be safer than the old vaccine. Okay, whatever, he still shed it. So we went back and forth for a painfully long time because he wanted to play semantics, okay, and didn't want to admit that he was wrong.
The kid got a reaction from his father having a reaction on his skin.
From the smallpox vaccine.
Right, because he had a skin disorder that he didn't even disclose to the Army. It says it right in the article.
But he got it from the vaccine. Still, he shed it.
But the kid didn't.
But if you're
so you're saying he had an adverse reaction to the vaccine, which gave him a different disease, and that disease was spread all over the house, and his kid got it. That's shedding smallpox? That is the furthest reach I think I've ever heard. That smallpox shedding, when his father developed a different disease and shed that disease from his own body all over his house, and his son got a different disease that had nothing to do with smallpox, and you're saying that's smallpox vaccine shedding.
It is, because the smallpox vaccine is not made with smallpox virus.
Neither was the disease the kid got. It was made with varicella, it says, and that's not what the kid got either.
Yeah, he didn't get it because varicella is chickenpox and not smallpox.
But it's called, I should have clarified this. The smallpox vaccine is not made from smallpox.
We all know that. It's made from cowpox. They teach that in grade school.
For real? When did they teach that in grade school? When? Never have I heard of that. Okay, when did they teach you that the smallpox vaccine is made from cowpox in grade school?